And you know we always go on your clap, Dalen. By the way, you're the only one that showed up this week. Deo, Luis, we couldn't even have the pitch hitter out here, Mr. Jeremy Lowe. That's fine. No, but it's the holidays. We understand. We're it's the holidays. We understand.
Let me not hit you up right now.
No, you know what? They're all dealing with some stuff. We'll see them soon enough. Deo, Luis, Jeremy, potentially. We miss you guys out there. But, hey, we're here, Dylan. We're doing a classic mode. Remember when it was just you and me? Well, how many episodes did we do just me and you, man? Because it's been a good while that it's been at least 3 people, right?
Are we talking about original series or this one?
Don't do that, Dalen. I understand that existed, but it's like 90 episodes, man. It's not 90 episodes now.
Yeah, no, for this one, I think we did like 10 or 15 episodes by ourselves.
We started getting tired of just me and you. Huh? We're like, let's get somebody else in here. But anyway,
then Luis was down to do it regularly, and now we miss you, buddy. We miss you. Get better. Stop dying.
Don't be doxing them, Dalen. We said
I'm not doxing him. I didn't say where he lived. I didn't say what was wrong with him. It's not like HIPAA's gonna come and get me.
Salient Points number 94 for December 20th, 2022. It's almost Christmas, man. I'm Carlos Macias. I'm the master of what, Dalen, this week?
Well, I was gonna say something else, but
don't be rude.
What is it called for you're the master of the Hippocratic Oath? That's what you are.
It sounds weird, but I think it's good, right? I will do no harm. I will do right. Am I correct on this? All right, so master.
Right, of the you're the master of the Hippocratic Oath. Over here,
there it is. And of course, Dalen Kirkwood from Up in the Mountain. I think you got the highest hit rate at this point, Dalen. The appearance. As far as appearances, your percentage is way up there. Dalen Kirkwood from Up in the Mountains. Thank you very much, sir. There's nothing too big, but we'll get right into some nice stuff. Of course, Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays, all that fun stuff. Make sure you go to YouTube, like, subscribe, all that. If we get some comments,
Christmas tree.
We just got the Christmas tree. We're still putting it up, dude. We're working on it. It's like
we got no lights up, no bulbs.
Yeah, no, the lights are outside the house. The lights are outside the house.
No, I'm talking about on the tree. We're talking about the tree.
No. I'm talking about, yes, I know, but what I'm talking about is the tree's not even up, dude. Like, the tree is still happening. But
it's
anyways,
still on the net.
Look, real quick,
up against the wall.
So real quick housekeeping. We got the Game of the Years coming up, man. I kind of want to do it a little funner. I want to figure out how to do it. I know we usually do 2. We do one wacky awards, which I like, man. You guys came up with some really good stuff last year, and then the Game of the Year stuff. So we're gonna figure that out. I don't know if it's like give it a little bit more time because this is busy out there, man. Maybe the beginning of the year, or maybe in the next couple weeks, maybe record one this week and just kind of have it and put it up. But we got the Game of the Years coming up. If you've heard the podcast, you probably have some ideas of what our goaties are, but there's always little surprises. So a little surprises. I like it. And sometimes Dalen doesn't do it in reverse order. Sometimes he does it. He gives us the number 1 first.
I want amen.
But anyways, Dalen, we'll get into kind of the big things real quick. Of course, the biggest thing that popped up yesterday was that Epic is going to pay $500 million, which is, $520 million, to settle FTC allegations over children's privacy and unwanted payment. That's according to VGC, but I did get a CNN quote, and I did put, not political, we're not CNN, we're not Fox News, whatever, I just found this link, right? I just found this quote. Take it as you will. Epic Games, maker of the hit video game Fornite, has agreed to pay a total of $520 million to settle U.S. government allegations that it misled millions of players, including children and teens, into making unintended purchases, and that it violated a landmark federal children's privacy law. As part of the agreement, Epic will pay $275 million to the U.S. government to resolve claims it violated the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, COPPA, by gathering the personal information of kids under the age of 13 without first receiving their parents' verifiable consent. It is the largest fine the FTC has ever imposed for a rule that it enforces, the agency said Monday. I did like what Steven Totillo said out there. He's out there in Axios, Bloomberg, Dalen. Those are the guys we kind of like out there. He said, quote, "Publisher is realizing that the ESRB ratings are not a shield for games clearly played by kids." It's wacky, and yes, these guys are making history as far as like letting the children just click around, right? Yeah, you don't need your kids' permission. Remember when the commercials, Dan, growing up, they would tell us, get your parents' permissions. Epic said, "Fuck that! Just click around, just grab whatever
click."
But let's go to you, Dan, the other person on the podcast. What do you think, man?
Hey, man, I hate just being the other person on the podcast, but yes, I am here.
What do you think?
Just to let you know that 275 million, obviously that's only half of the situation, because I think with Copa, that is literally only half of it. The other half was malpractices on payment, on the whole payment situation. It was like clickbaity. It was super clickbaity. They would have confusing controls for children, and then when kids wanted to actually just view the items before purchase, you could easily just accidentally hit the wrong button and it'll immediately pay for it. It'll be like you press X to view it and circle to quick pay. People were quick paying up the yin yang by accident, or they would like switch up the buttons on the kids, and they did
well,
purchasing
it's tricky.
stuff.
I don't know. I think you order on Amazon. I would assume you order on there, Dalen. Or I think other sites do it too. But there's the buy now, right? Even for adults, it's as easy as buy now. Imagine the children.
But this is different, though.
No, but what I'm saying, Dalen, what I'm saying is, imagine the children of, I just want to play this game. Of course, I could just click. But yes, of course. Please continue.
Yeah, but just imagine you got two buttons. You got A and B. All this time I'm pressing A to be able to view my stuff, and suddenly Epic decides we're going to switch the controls around. Now it's going to be B to select, and people are now, they're still pressing A, and they're like, why did I just buy this?
Is this really what they were doing then? I feel like we got to come back with the correction
no.
or something.
I was reading the story. Okay. You could definitely come back to this, but that was just one small part of it. But the other part that I thought was crazy is that people were actually disputing these charges. And when they kept coming to Epic, Epic started banning accounts for those that were were trying to dispute it. I was like, "What? Yeah, that's crazy."
So one thing is trying to get money and trying to be slick about it. The things you're describing, if they're to believe, I did read some of that, so I think you're correct on. How about this, Dan? This is my Christmas gift to you. I'm gonna believe everything you just said. I'll believe everything you just said. All right. So considering all that, it's out of control, man. At that point, it's like you guys are legitimately being evil. Like you're being a legitimately evil company where it's like, let's get these children in here. Let's get these children where they just click around. And I know one of the solutions that they threw out there was like, there's going to be a hold. You have to hold it now instead of just click that as easily. But what do you, will they learn? Because look, it's 500 million.
Statement: no company makes a game with the intent of being what was the word? It starts with an M. I want to say maleficent, but that's not right. It's when they're on purpose being a terrible, being a terrible company. Yeah, you know what word I'm trying to think of, but I can't remember what it is.
Leave it in the comments if you guys are like, this is
then
the
with
word.
Then with their malpractices, it's terrible.
Yeah. It's wacky, man. But it's funny to think though, right? It's kind of like when these big companies, like oil companies, oil spills and whatever other stuff, is like, yeah, they had to pay $2 billion. Like, yeah, but they made 50 billion or whatever. So I'm sure 500 is like a slap on the wrist, right? I'm pretty sure they're in the billions, a couple billions of dollars worth of like revenue, right? And they're like, all right, we won't do it again.
They're like, we got caught. My bad. All right, let's change.
Here you go.
But it's too late. We made our money. We stuffed our coffers. We're gonna walk away with all the children's little shoes and just go off in our sunset.
The children's little shoes, there. They can't walk in the snow no more like that.
They took off the shoes, man.
Not like that. Anything else on that, Dan? Do we move on to the next thing here?
We can move on.
All right, the next thing here is that there's a quote-unquote official survey that I believe Microsoft was kind of put out there to certain people. They sent some emails out saying that, asking if people would be willing to go for an ad-supported Xbox Game Pass. The option that they were kind of throwing out there, that it could be $299 a month, and that you would kind of get ads before the games. And $299 a month, if we consider the pricing of Game Pass is $9.99 and then Game Pass Ultimate $14.99, and so you're gonna have ads when you load up the game, and the other thing is that it's got to be a game that's like at least 6 months old. So there's kind of little tricky things that is like, it just makes it a little frustrating, right? But given that, Dylan, $15 a month, $3 a month versus $15 a month, would you go for it? Would you go for an ad-supported version of Game Pass?
No.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't. Right. It's the same reason why I pay for Hulu. It's fact is I paid
Thank you for the login, by the way.
You're welcome. Thank you I pay the extra money because I don't want ads
Yeah.
All right. I know that Hulu, I believe Hulu was free for a while with ads, but even that was irritating. Like you had to wait 30 seconds for the ad to be over.
It's
And
whack, dude.
in
It's
this day
whack
and age,
dealing with the ads, man.
it's just frustrating to see it every time. And right in the middle of your show, an ad will pop up for another 30 seconds. I get the fact that most commercial breaks are maybe a minute and a half long or something like that. But we are in a time where commercial breaks aren't necessary anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't need a commercial break. I'm used to not having
I
commercial
think
breaks.
the only
So when you
thing
start shoving ads down my throat, it makes me want to move somewhere else.
that's I honestly that's kind of how I feel like about YouTube Red, and I think maybe it's just because I don't use YouTube that much, right? Thank you for subscribing and liking and all the other stuff. I don't use YouTube that much, so to me it's kind of like, yeah, I'll deal with the ads every so often when I'm like, oh, I want to look up this video of a walkthrough or whatever it is. But I think part of this is like just kind of like the glut of subscriptions as well, that it could be potentially attractive to people where it's like, okay, I got Apple Plus, I got Hulu, I got HBO, I got this. So
it's cost somewhere.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, you know what? I don't play these games that much. I'm okay with it being 6 months out from being new. They're giving me this option.
But are you gonna be upset when that brand new game drops and everybody's on it? Game Pass.
Well, guess what?
And you ain't got it.
Well, guess what, Dylan? That I'm pretty sure it's like, let me drop this $15 real good, then I'll drop back down to the $2. So I think it's just giving people options.
Drink by Moshi.
Okay, we're being sponsored by Moshi. You're a little late on that, but that's fine.
Oh, you didn't announce it. That's on you.
So it's interesting, right? We'll see. They probably will go for it. Every time we hear like little little rumors or whatever. Thank you, Dalen. I'm going to have to look. I'm not Luis. That's going to be in the audio, man. He cuts all that fun stuff out. So please, Dalen, keep it to a minimum per favor. But Dalen's over here sipping on water in case you guys are on the audio. You probably heard it.
This is Moshi.
You probably heard it on the audio because I'm not cutting it out of it. But anyways, Dalen, so I think the $3 a month, I think they'll probably, I would assume they'll go forward, man. Even if it's like $5 or something, I'm sure it's just about meeting like the right kind of pricing for it, right? But
yeah,
here we are, man.
I know that people will still subscribe for the lesser amount, especially if you don't use Xbox as much as other people do. But I want that brand new game. I don't want ads, and it's kind of odd for me to have ads in the middle of my gameplay, or just before I try and play my game. It's like trying to play a phone game. You know how you play a phone game and you go through a couple of levels and suddenly you get an ad right in the middle
I
of
honestly think, I honestly think, because sometimes, we're gamers. We've played games for a long time. Part of the process sometimes is the game loading, right? Is us getting to continue or start a new game or whatever it is, right? I think the ad is, it kind of sucks, right? You're going to watch an ad before you can play your game. I think the bigger deal is the 6 months, wait, right? Because you're like, I'm paying. What is available right now? What is available? But
what is available right now? What is on this list? Oh, this is all trash.
But maybe maybe for some people it makes sense. So we're gonna move into quick takes, Dalen. The first thing we have on here is that there's a claim by leaker, quote unquote, viewer Anon. He's saying that Naughty Dog's next game is The Last of Us Part 3. It's not surprising, right? Like, it's not really a shocking thing. But so this guy, his track record pretty much is that he leaked the HBO TV show The Last of Us, and also the then unannounced Crash Bandicoot, which got announced at the Game Awards, right? Or I should have read a little bit more into it. I don't know. I would assume they're talking about like the Crash Team Racing, but this is from Insider Gaming that I read it from. But it's not surprising, right, Dalen? Or it's not surprising, but do you wish they would have ended it maybe at 2, or are you glad to hear that? Here we go. Here's number 3.
I don't mind them making a part 3, but what I need is a new Uncharted game.
All of a sudden, we got to take it off the script, Dalen. But
hey, I will say this: Last of Us is too big at this point. They're just too big. Yeah. We're gonna get a part 4, my guy. We're gonna get a part 4. However, I was very upset at the ending to part 2. I was very upset at the end of the part 2.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spoil it, but I was super upset about it. Super upset about it.
It was great. I think the whole game was great. I'll see a third one, because maybe the third one's the charm. Dalen, by the way, our first game of the year is like Final Fantasy versus the Last of Us, right? So, and we gave it to Final Fantasy, right? So it's kind of it's our probably our only unanimous game that we'll ever have. That's like we both the whole entire website of 2 people chose the same game as game of the year. But so to me, I think a lot of it was,
thanks to us, they're gonna make a game of the year edition. Don't worry.
Yeah, so I think for me, there you go. where's it at? Where's it at? They can. That was like we got comps. People be like, what site? What we got comps? Who is that? But I think I would be hyped for a third one. Maybe to me the big thing for 2 was kind of like the pacing. It seemed really long, right? It was epic though. It was an epic kind of game, but then there's like a twist to it. There's a couple too many twists, but otherwise it's an accomplishment. It's definitely an accomplishment, and at least we know that he doesn't want to hear it. But I think 3 would be kind of like the sweet spot. So I'm hyped for it. It's not surprising again. But this leaker has a track record of saying things are happening. The other thing, real quick, Dalen, is that Spider-Man 2's release date has kind of narrowed down to fall 2023 on PS5, and that's confirmed on the PlayStation blog. We would like a date, probably, of course, but at least we have
a date. I'll play it when you release it, but let us know when, so we can be on top.
So we didn't even have a fall 2023. We didn't have anything, right? So at least now they're like officially. It's coming out. We knew it existed already, right? But they're narrowing it down to fall 2023, so I'm pretty hyped for that. The other thing is Amazon Games is not messing around. They're going to publish Crystal Dynamics' next Tomb Raider game. It's going to be made on Unreal Engine 5. It's going to be basically a campaign, a single-player campaign. It's going to be multi-platform, right? So I'm assuming PC, PlayStation 5, PS4, all the good stuff. Is this? Are you hyped for another Tomb Raider, Dalen, or is the fact that Amazon Games is gonna publish it kind of also like a interesting wrinkle for you, or what do you think?
The part that I'm most interested in is them using the Unreal Engine 5. Because if you recall, Carlos, that was the engine that was demoed with the whole little Matrix demo that came out, and it looked beautiful. And the whole car chase under the freeway and all that stuff. And I'd love to see what they can actually do with such a powerful engine and to make it look more realistic, have better lighting. Because I went back and I tried to play that first Tomb Raider, and I realized it's a little dated at this point.
The first
reboot of Tomb Raider. Like I think it was 20onsixteen or something.
Because you're not going to Tank Control's PS1 version.
No. I'm talking about the Uncharted copycat Tomb Raider. That's what I'm talking about.
Girl Uncharted, which Uncharted was boy Tomb Raider. So it's full circle. It's full circle here, all right? Full circle. That's the main thing I'm excited for is to have the announcement of a game that is fully trying to actually take advantage of Unreal Engine 5, and I hope they achieve that goal because I'd love to see it. And everything that it's worth. Yeah, I like the Tomb Raider games. They're like you're waiting on an Uncharted, right? So if we get a Tomb Raider,
where's my Uncharted? Put Uncharted in Unreal Engine 5.
What I'm saying, Dalen, is like we'll get something Uncharted right? If we get this Tomb Raider, we'll get some. So I'm good with more of those type of games, right? And they've been pretty good.
Man, they've been pretty good. Just let me know, when am I going to be able to shoot a tiger again?
There you go. Hey, that's what you need to know. You need to get at that tiger, man, because. Just be careful because Peter might come after you. The next thing we have on here real quick, I wanted to mention there's a couple PSVR 2 games that are got sort of announced that are coming out on launch day. Resident Evil Village already exists, right? But they're going to do a VR mode for it that launches basically alongside the PSVR 2. Dude, my $600 are like put away. They're there. My pre-order is there.
You're getting it apparently.
I'm gonna use it for 3 weeks, I'm sure. Play all the cool stuff that comes out in the first month, and then probably put it away like I did the first one. But the other thing, of course, is that there's gonna be a new Fantavision, which the last time we saw a Fantavision, Dalen, was the PS2 launch title, Fantavision. If you,
I don't even know what that is.
It's basically I don't know if you ever saw it. Like it was a launch PS2 game. It was like fireworks. It was basically fireworks, and you're just controlling the fireworks. It's very much a display. Look how much you can do with the PS2 type of like technological demo type of thing. But they sold it for real though. They sold it for real money out there.
Hey, the last time I saw Fantavision is when I bought a glass bottle. It was empty, and I looked through the top end of it.
Oh, okay. I'm not really sure. You're talking about Fanta. Is that the joke, Dalen? I mean, I don't like it. The next thing that we have is that Nintendo is doing like
you're trying to move past it, but you can't. You can't move past
the next thing. Yeah, thank you for the lack of a segue, Dalen. Thank you for a lack of one. The next thing, of course, is that so Nintendo's doing sort of, I don't know. It's kind of a weird like leading up to Christmas kind of thing, right? Where they're doing what they're calling, quote, Inside the House of Indies holiday event, which is basically like 5 days of reveals. They already did reveal some games on Monday, and by the time this podcast is up, right, there's going to be some more. We got Floppy Knights, Mortal Shell, which is complete edition, so I think that already came out somewhere. Roman Sands Rebuild, and
PS5, PS4, PS5.
And Paparazzi is the other one that got revealed on Monday. Like I said, if you guys go over to the Nintendo site, I'm sure they revealed some more. To me, it sort of reminds me of like, what's that little calendar thing that Advent? Is it called an Advent calendar? Where it's like, look, every day there's something new, but they're only doing like 5 days. Right?
I know what you're talking about, but it makes me think of the 12 days of Christmas and the ugly sweaters of Christmas and stuff like that. It's just
there's a lot of countdowns happening, right? When this kind of Christmassy type of stuff. Well, the Inside the House of Indies holiday event, right? They didn't even say Christmas or anything. But what do you think, Dan? You recognize some of these games, or do you just like that they're kind of doing this every day? There's new reveals of indie games.
I recently found out about Paparazzi, and I thought it was funny to even see that on the list. And then I was like, Mortal Shell? Oh, okay. So it seems like they're just trying to port a bunch of indies to the Switch and trying to make it exciting for people. So don't get me wrong. There are indies out there that are very much underappreciated for like their first attempts at making a video game, or people's foray into the video game world in a different fashion, or changing the way
it gives them a little bit more visibility, right? Like it's like, okay, look, it's these are coming out, they exist somewhere, but here you go, you have another chance at them. Go ahead, Dave.
But sometimes I feel like it's a downgrade. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a downgrade for Mortal Shell. I am very sure.
Is it graphically intense? You know the game. What kind of game
it is?
What kind of game?
It is a graphically intense game.
Okay. Yeah, but,
and that is one that is going to lose.
RTS. What do we think?
No, it was action adventure. It was an action adventure. I think it was a shooter, actually.
Okay, there you go. But we'll see. We got some more days to go, right? Anything else on that, Dalen, by the way, before we kind of get to the next thing on here?
Yes, play more indie games.
All right, some of them are good, some of them not.
Carlos, play more indie games. You still need to play what? 5 minutes, 12 minutes. You need to play 12
I played through that. I played through that. That was not. That was okay. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. I was thinking of maybe going through Tunic. How long is Tunic, by the way? I think I had to tinker with that still.
Well, that depends. Are you using a strategy guide or not?
At this point, yeah, man. At some point, like if it's been. Look, if I get to a game, like, right off the bat, like I played the week of release or something, it's like, nope, I'm going to pound my head against the wall to figure out puzzles and stuff. Tunic, I might use a little guide or just have it kind of as a backup, right? How long is this game?
Hey, man, up until the very end, I did not use a guide. I just wanted to open a specific door. But in reality, it's like a 4-hour game if you actually use a strategy guide.
Okay. All right, so I got to play it just for some Game of the Year considerations even, right? The next thing we have on here is the Game Awards viewership numbers were 103 million in 2022. And I know Jeff Keighley put up a whole list of all the days, like it just kind of kept growing and growing. So 103 million in 2022. It started at 1.9 million in 2014. So it's kind of a big deal, I would think. If the numbers are correct, and I don't think Keighley would lie to us like that. But he did put out a tweet saying, quote, this year's The Game Awards hit a new viewership milestone, 103 million live streams. Thank you for making this the most watched Game Awards in history. See you in 2023. I think it kind of goes to show you that we always crap on it. Everyone always does. If you ever look online, everyone's always crap. It's too long. It's nothing but reveals after reveals. Not always necessarily the biggest games, even though there's been some pretty big reveals. I mean, the Xbox Series X was revealed, right, a couple years ago. So he's had some nice things in there, right? But it's kind of he's always constantly like updating it and working on it, and hopefully he finds a good little mix, right? But what do you think, Dan? What does it say that it's like 103 and it just keeps growing, 103 million views and it keeps growing and stuff?
It tells me that the kids that used to play video games when they were young and didn't give a crap about TV or media, that fact, have now grown up and they're like, oh, there's video game awards. I'm going to watch video game awards because I grew up on video games.
Yeah.
Because for our time, we might have played video games back then, but we didn't have video game awards back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then in the early 2000s, we had, G4 that was doing their own version of video game awards.
Yeah.
And then we got to the 2010s, and suddenly it started to blow up. That was after the video games went away for like 2 years, and then got rebought. And then it was
Well,
a huge change in the industry, just trying to get the video game awards going.
Jeff Keighley had been doing it even before this it was just his thing, the Game Awards. He was on Game Trailers TV, and he was doing like bonus round, and he did a bunch of good like interviews. And it was through, I think it was through well, Spike TV, man. Do you remember Spike TV? Spike TV existed.
Spike TV. They had a segment called G4, and that was where he was doing it.
So I don't know if it was G4 because I think it was G4 TV, and then there was Spike TV. So I think they were two different
whatever.
things.
It was somewhere. It was in that nice little section of time,
and it
when
was
all that was
and
happening.
It was always quality. And I think he had a lot of money at that time. I mean, I'm pretty sure he has quite a bit of money to put this together now. But at the time, I think they were giving him like legit like a production budget to like make this look beautiful, make these games a presentation of everything you do on here. So, but it's good. It's good that he's kind of been growing it, and that's been getting as big as it is, right? Because you're right, we didn't have anything. The closest we had was the AIAS, which I remember on GoldenEye had a nice little trophy, Game of the Year, which I think is still probably the most respected one because I think it's from the peers. They still do it as they do it at the DICE Awards. But other than that, I mean, you need something for the people as well, right? You need something for the people to like kind of gather around and galvanize over.
Now that I think about it, we have 3 video game awards now. We got this one, the video game awards, the gaming awards, sorry. Yeah. DICE and BAFTA, because they have a section for video games.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. So there's plenty. Like, I mean, really, the closest we got to was like EGM or Game Pro or Game Informer. They did like their Game of the Years, right? Like that's the closest that we got to. And which EGM is kind of where we get our wacky awards, man. I love that. Look, EGM. Even the reviews that we do, and we got kind of like try to model them after EGM.
You're like, God bless EGM.
I just love EGM, man. I just love EGM. So it's sad to see him go, but it's sign of the times. You can't. Magazines just don't work, Dalen. I'm sorry. That model
not
doesn't
like they
work.
used to. We're all digital now.
I wanted to mention real quick is that Guerrilla is working on a Horizon Universe online co-op game. You put a no on this one, Dalen. You wouldn't play a co-op game. You like the Horizon games, right? You like the Horizon Universe, right?
You're talking about like Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yes, like in that universe, Guerrilla makes the Horizon games, so
yeah,
online co-op.
Because I'm sorry, because the word Guerrilla popped in my head. I was thinking about the game Guerrilla Warfare, which was Red Faction, and I was like, nah, it can't be anything like that. And then I was like, oh, he's talking about Horizon Zero Dawn and that type of game. But there's plenty of games like that now.
Hey, the thing is, I don't know if we've exactly been burned, but we've played them though, right? We've tried them.
I'm good.
The Division, right? What's the other one? Outriders, right?
Outriders.
Which Outriders was kind of cool, actually. I still kind of want to go back to that at some point. But it none of them beat Destiny, right? There's a reason why Sony said we are buying you for a $3 billion. Show us how to make this, right? Yeah, so Girls working on a Horizon Universe online co-op game. I'm sure we'll hear more about it in the near future. Also, another Amazon thing is that Amazon is in final talks to adapt Warhammer 40,000. Henry Cavill is supposed to star, and he's going to executive produce. I didn't put it on here. I forgot to even look it up, but I know someone tweeted like something like, they were like, Henry Cavill, you fucking nerd. Like this guy is just doing like all the nerdiest stuff. Even like the stuff.
Hey man, he's building PCs. He nerded out over The Witcher when that got started. Yeah. He just wanted to be in Mission Impossible just because it's Mission Impossible.
Well, and
I mean,
Dalen, and like what's funny is like people have a right to say, oh, this nerd, right? Because Warhammer 40,000 is not necessarily like the biggest thing. Like it's not World of Warcraft, which even that is a little nerdy, right?
You're tripping if you're saying that.
But Dalen, the funniest thing though is that like even the Witcher stuff, right? He was like, they don't respect it. Like it's kind of, there's a fallout, right, that happened with The Witcher. They don't respect it enough. They're talking crap with the source.
Yeah, he left because they wanted to change it. He was like, nope.
Before we move away from it, though, I want to know if we're bringing the smoke around here. What am I tripping about? If I'm saying what, I'll keep it smoking.
Warhammer in itself is huge. I mean, there was Vermintide, Space Marines. There's actually a whole universe that just surrounds the whole thing.
Oh, that's of course.
Future.
The lore is far ever reaching forever and ever and ever, and I believe
and it's really huge in Europe.
Okay.
And it might not be as huge here in the US, but it's still huge nonetheless.
You know what? I'll give you that. Because You're like, but look, I'm not talking about the U.S. I'm like, okay, maybe Dalen's got me. I have to look into this some more. All right, see, look, Christmas gifts all around, Dalen. I'm giving you your right. I gave you a you're right earlier, right? And now I'm like, okay, let me give you the benefit of the doubt out here. But okay,
Carlos,
so
I'm starting to not like your president.
hey man, hey, so what do you think about Henry Cavill? Or did you say your piece on this man? I suppose that he plans on starring, he plans on executive producing the Warhammer 40K.
I mean, after what they did with him with The Witcher and Superman, I'm glad that he's got himself another passion project going for him. So at this point, I just expect Henry Cavill to be in every major comic book and just.
Yeah,
I would love to see him in everything. He's gonna be in everything.
He might be.
He's gonna be the white Samuel Jackson.
There you go. Or he might be the. I don't. Where's Henry Cavill from? Is he American or is he from the UK? Maybe. I don't know. You know how they have accents and they take all of American.
Yeah. He's some sort of British.
Okay. Well, look, he's the British. He's the British Ryan Reynolds. All right, because Ryan Reynolds,
he Ryan Reynolds is very much Canadian.
That's what I'm saying. He's the British version of that man. But because Ryan Reynolds is kind of like the whole Deadpool stuff, right? He really wanted to get that done, and he seems kind of like maybe a nerdy character, right? Like he kind of wants to get all that stuff done.
Hey, he got that going.
So Amazon is out here not messing around, man. They're over here trying to make the next Tomb Raider or produce or fund the next Tomb Raider. Now 40K, and also
he's British,
and also there you go, British Ryan Reynolds. And also they're talking about the God of War TV series is ordered by Amazon Prime Video. So the creators from The Expanse and the showrunner from Wheel of Time is involved with that. Does that give you anything, Dylan? Did you watch The Expanse or Wheel of Time, or did you not mess with
The Expanse is currently one of the biggest sci-fi series that's currently going outside of Star Trek.
I've heard something like
Wheel of Time was very much hyped up, and then that lost its hypeness after the season fully dropped. Mm-hmm. But don't get me wrong, it started out strong, and then I'm thinking to myself, they don't have to make a TV series out of everything. And God of War, I'm just like, they don't need to make a series out of God of War. It's fun.
I think, look, we've been playing through the God of War games. I don't know how far you're into Ragnarok, but even with the 2018 version, you got like a side of like, it's not just like Penelope or whatever it was. It's not just him like gruff and just like mad, just completely through like 12 hours of gameplay, right? He showed.
I'm sorry, where'd you get that name from?
Isn't that from? I think that was his wife in the original
Persephone.
Game. I don't even know if it was Persephone either.
Penelope.
Whatever it is. All right. Look, it's on wax.
Oh, you're not gonna live that one down.
It's on wax. I feel you said the wrong thing as well, potentially. But look, anyways,
still, you just Penelope.
Anyways, we're on wax. I can't take it back at this point, and I don't do any editing. So God of War TV series, I think it kind of proved that there's levels to it, there's some nuance to it, right? And I think the games are just great, man. The God of War Ragnarok, I'm playing through that, and it's long, dude. Oh, it's long, but like sometimes games are long, and you're like, let me get to it, and I'm like, this game, yeah, it's long, it feels long, but it's so good.
It's nice.
It's just so good. But what do you think, Dan? So was that what you were gonna say? Like, why a God of War TV show? Or
no, I know why, but it doesn't need to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Period.
All right.
There are just some things that you can just leave alone.
Yeah.
And let it live its life. Right now, God of War is still trying to really find its ground to stand on and actually stay in the world. Because after God of War 3, we were all like, all right, we're kind of tired of God of War at this point. And then they completely revamped it.
We saw enough of Penelope, right? We saw enough of her, right? We saw enough by God of War 3.
And then it took them a couple years. They had to fully revamp it. It was like Assassin's Creed taking a step back and trying to come back from its stagnation. Now that it's back from its stagnation, let us bask in the non-stagnation that is God of War.
It's been pretty nice. It's nice, man. It's good. I think we'll see, right? And I think it's one of those things like, let's see what they do with The Last of Us. Let's see what they do with these other kind of TV shows. But I might be down. I might be down for it.
I'm happy that somebody decided that, yay, let's make a God of War TV show. But hot take, I hope it gets canceled.
Oh, damn. Okay, Dalen. Only one season, huh? Only one season.com.
I hope it doesn't even make it to the past the wow. What is it called? That very first episode.
Yeah, you're being a hater, man. They're gonna drop a bunch of episodes like day one. They always do day one like 2 or 3 episodes, man. So It'll be the third episode. Like, look, nobody tuned in. They're like, God of War, Penelope.
Yeah, I hope they don't make it past the pilot. That's the word.
You're a hater, man. The next thing is that so Death Stranding is a movie. There's gonna be what is a movie or it's in the works.
Hey, don't hurt yourself.
Something Death Stranding is in the works. It's from the guy Hammerstone, or the executive producer of Barbarian. His Hammerstone Studios and Kojima Productions is gonna be involved as well. To me, these kind of interesting. If you haven't seen Barbarian, by the way, Dylan, watch that, man. It's such a trip. I feel like it's a good combination of the Barbarian people that made that movie and Kojima, dude. All his games have been like basically making movies, right? But like interactive, right? So I think something nice could come out of this. I think something kind of, but
hey, anytime you have Kojima involved, the story is probably gonna get nuts for no reason.
That's true. So we'll see what comes of that. I'm sure we'll get some more details at some point. Hogwarts Legacy, Dalen, I'm sorry to tell you, but it's been delayed for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. That's even pushed out further out. This is a quote from their official tweet. They said, quote, Hogwarts Legacy will launch on April 4, 2023 for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and on July 25, 2023 for Nintendo Switch. The team is looking forward to bringing you the game, and we want to deliver the best possible game experience across all platforms. I think it's only a few months, right? Because I think it's supposed to come out in like February. So, you know,
hey man,
pushed out
a few months can make a huge difference. And I'm not talking about the fact that it was simply delayed. I'm talking about this gap between the system that it's launching on and the next system that it's going to come out for. If you're going to launch one copy of it on the PlayStation 4 in April, people are going to know what it's like by then. And then we get to July and less people are going to want to buy it.
I'm not really sure what the logic is on that, Dalen, but yeah, I mean, sure.
The logic here, I'll give you logic, and I know this is.
Are you usually not giving me logic? Is what you're telling me? You're gonna
decide to give me logic. No, I will reiterate this logic in this particular case, and I know that for 2077, it had its own issues, but putting those issues aside, there was the fact that they said, all right, we're going to release the regular version in November, and we're going to release the PS5 or HD version in January of next year. January rolled around, they were like, nope, let's push it out. Nope, let's push it out. Give you another example. Resident Evil Reverse. We're going to launch Resident Evil Reverse with the game. You know what? There's something wrong with it. Let's push it back a couple of months. Then let's push it back a whole year. Then we don't hear nothing about it.
So is the reference you're talking about pushing out the Switch version? Is that what you're talking about? That they're focusing on PS4 and Xbox One? And yes, the Switch one is like, it's gonna be out at some point, man. We don't know. Oh, actually, no, they did say July, right? April to July.
No, but by the time we get to April, they're gonna be like, we don't know.
It's fine.
We gotta figure this one out.
Why didn't you play it back in April? I mean, what do you guys expect from the Switch, man? Nintendo does not want to update this hardware. They do not want to do that. But we still want to sell a shitload of copies. The next thing we have on here, Dead Space has gone gold. This is a tweet from the studio, Motive Studio. They're confirming that, yes, it's coming January 27th. They said, quote, we are whole again. The entire Motive team is excited to announce that Dead Space has gone gold. Thanks to all the fans who supported us this far. See you all on January 27th. So that game is gold. And look, we've been playing Callisto Protocol, or like how me and Luis like to call it, Callisti Protokey. I played through it.
That sounds so stupid right now.
I played through it. I played through it. We Are Whole Again. That's got to be like something that I just don't remember story-wise, right? Or lore-wise.
In regards to Dead Space?
The original Dead Space. I feel like maybe I heard that in 1, 2, or 3 or something like that. That there's kind of like, they have the lore and the whole, they were, weren't they like praising like random statues or something like that, or like the red little swirl type situation?
You're talking about the Spire, but
I said swirl.
They're not visceral games, okay? Visceral games is gone.
You're hyped.
They're still not whole.
Are you hyped, Dylan? No, they're still not whole. There was a breakdown at some point. Are you hyped, Dylan? It's gone gold.
I've been hyped since they announced this, and I watched some of those 20-minute videos of just technical updates that they had made to the game, and I'm still saying, shut up and take my money. You don't need to announce it. Just give me the date. I will pre-order. Let's go.
All right, there you go. Well, they're confirming it's gold, man. They're pressing the disc. I'm sure we'll still get the the nice 50 gigabyte day one update, right? Like every other game, right? But hey, at the
Are
very
you
least,
getting a physical copy or a digital?
potential. I think I might gain flight. We'll see. I think so, right? There's nothing
The-
else
I was about to say, why
physical.
do you care if it's gold if you just get a digital copy?
Well, I mean, just gold doesn't necessarily mean like
I know
the
what it
disc,
means,
Dylan. I mean,
Carlos.
come on, it means execute or whatever it is. If we only had Luis here to tell us the proper terms of compile, execute, or whatever, it's fine. It's there. I'm sure they're working still on bugs and whatever. Right, we'll still get a day
Compile,
one.
execute, compress,
There we
send.
go.
Go play it.
The other thing that they're trying to send out there and just go play it is Super Nintendo World is officially going to open February 17th at Universal Studios Hollywood. These places are kind of pricey, Dylan, but you know, I try to avoid them just because that's how pricey they are. But February 17th, I'm kind of. Are we going? Are we making a We Got Comms trip to Universal Studios Hollywood, Dylan? February 17th.
The homie Jeremy Lowe actually invited me to go with him to Universal Studios here at the end of December.
Okay.
And then I got the news that their official opening in February, and I'm like, I'm sorry, Jeremy, I can't go.
Wait. If he's inviting you, he's paying for you, so you just go.
No.
Okay.
He's inviting for me. He's inviting me to go with him at the end of this year.
At all. But anyways, okay.
I gotta pay for myself, but at least we'd go as a group.
Okay.
But now I'm like, hold on, February Super Mario World is opening, and let me go on February 17th.
There we go. Hey, let's
February 18th, maybe after all the dumb people.
Let's plan it out.
Let's
plan it out. Let's go tinker with it. It's been out in Japan, so I'm sure there's like plenty of videos, plenty of food related stuff that we kind of will be aware of. Hopefully there's like little secrets that only for the US version, right? Or the
Hey man, I'm gonna buy me an edible mushroom.
Whoa, Dalen, okay, don't say that too out loud, Dalen, without any context. Look, dude, we're making good time. We're going into the what you've been playing. I'm kind of hyped. This is and I feel you've been feeling okay, Dalen. I hope you've been doing all right over there. We're gonna go into
Hey, I got my gummy bears, so I'm cool.
Going into
before we go into what you've been playing, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling so great you didn't even notice. I got myself a nice little Christmas present here. I got
nice.
One of the Secret Santa things. You have no idea what this is, do you?
It's a little Gundam character or something, maybe. I don't know.
You're wrong. That's fine.
I don't know. So what you been playing? I've been playing, like I had mentioned already, Dylan, God of War Ragnarok. Still making my way through that game. A big thing of that game is like just like I mentioned earlier, just the tone that it's like damn, there's some beautiful moments in this game. There's some moments of there's high highs, right, and there's low lows. And there's kind of this is one of the things that I was talking to Luis about off mic, or off wax, however you want to call it, is that there was a big conversation, there was big discussions like maybe like 10, 15 years ago online about ludonarrative dissonance, Dalen. I don't know if you've ever heard that. That's basically it was actually, look, for one of your favorite games, a discussion came up for that was the fact that, like, say Uncharted, right? You have an Uncharted that's kind of Indiana Jones, Romancing the Stone kind of type of game, but they're not killing 20, 30 people, right? In Uncharted, you're murdering people left and right, and yet it's supposed to be a fun, like, happy-go-lucky story, right? They're of near misses. But God of War's like, no, you're supposed to be killing gods. That's like the story. And then at the center of it all is the story of father and son, which we've been at it since the 2018 version, right? But then you see the progress of that into this new game, and it's a beautiful thing, man. Just the tone, just the fact that it's like there is no ludo narrative dissonance, because it's like you are supposed to be killing a lot of things. You're supposed to be getting chased by gods and this other stuff. So I'm just loving the tone. I'm just loving the game. It's not exactly, I wouldn't say it's exactly frictionless, because you know there's some moments of pausing. It's like, damn, I gotta figure this out. Whereas, you know, Ratchet and Clank, dude, it's like the fucking frictionless gaming of all time, right? It's just smooth. It's just smooth.
Frictionless gaming.
But yeah, it's one of those things that just thinking about. We talked about the Game Awards earlier. And I know maybe it's a spoiler, but I feel like it's got to be a spoiler. But how was it not Game of the Year, man? This game is so incredible, right? You get to the moment. I don't know. Look, they're called Fates and Norns. I won't say more than that, but you get to that point in the game, it's like, dude, this is incredible, man. This is like the things that this game does, the stories. I know some of it is in cutscenes, but even just in gameplay, it's just a beautiful thing. Then, but we'll keep it. Look, we'll keep it there. Is that the only thing that you played is Ragnarok, or you played
very recently, it is the only thing I've had the
you
time to
played
really
it as
play.
well,
I
right?
was
So
I played a little bit more of it. I don't know how far Luis got, so I'm not gonna actually
he's not.
start
Look,
timing out
he's
the game
not. He's
itself.
not executive producing. He didn't get hired by Amazon Prime to make a video or anything like that. So
Now you got
not too
hired by
spoilery.
Nvidia. He's
Yeah.
still getting paid
No,
more than
what
both
I'm
of us put
saying.
together.
No, what I'm saying. Damn, you took it to like a whole like different path, man. What I'm saying is, he's probably not listening, so not too spoilery. But what are you thinking so far? Are you deep into it or just if you're
Well, I
yeah.
wanted to actually, I wanted to touch base on this Ludo Dissonant. What did you call it? What
Ludo
was the
narrative dissonance. This was a thing like 15 years ago, man. Yeah,
Yeah, it's that thing where you're going in and just you're willy nilly killing people with no repercussions to the brain, right? And I believe that Last of Us and Last of Us 2 really leaned into that. Like there aren't very many people that you're killing, but you start to feel the weight of some of the people that you're killing. There's one moment in part 2 where you are very much in the moment of killing a man.
Yeah, and look, they're video games and they're action based and they're violence based in a lot of cases, right? So the fact that they match it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but for God of War, you know that you're killing mythical creatures that you'll most likely not really have any bad feelings about. Yeah. But every so often, you come across that one person that doesn't want to die and is chasing you the whole game.
It's nice, man. It's just it's a nice video game. It's a nice video. It's one to definitely write home about. As far as Ragnarok, Dylan, anything else, and then I'll just kind of talk about mainly just one other game. But as far as Ragnarok, anything else?
To me, this game is far more excellent than Elden Ring.
Look,
Elden Ring.
Hey, no spoilers, and maybe not. I don't know, but I mean, it could be unanimous. It could be. We'll see. We'll find out. Don't spoil it, Dalen. The other thing I've been playing is, of course, is I'm still into Bayonetta 3. Dalen, this game is out of control, dude. It is like. I've talked about it before. It's been on Wax before. How people are like, the story is dumb, and at first I was thinking the same thing, and it still is kind of dumb. But at some point, it's so ridiculous that it's been doing this since Bayonetta 1 that I don't get what the complaints are. Gojira, Dalen, there is a moment where you are straight up like Godzilla, one on one side and the other side, and slow as hell, right? Punching slow as hell. Then there's another moment that you're going into 2D. I'm trying to not spoil it, but it's by the time you play it, you'll understand. There's like stealth moments. There's like little 2D moments. There's like times when you're going into multi-dimensions, which is the wacky part of the game, but that means you're everywhere in time and space. And at some point...
Wait, what was the name of the movie? Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Maybe that's what this is, then. I gotta watch that now. But there's a lot of shit happening in Bayonetta 3, dude. I don't know if it's like up there. I'm still kind of like wrestling with like how good it is and how much it's like, damn, this is ridiculous, and I love random ridiculousness. I don't want to spoil it, but at some point you summon a train, Dalen. At some point you can summon a train. All right,
Carlos, you would love the absurdity of Everything Everywhere All at Once. It is absurd and good at the same time.
So yeah, I've been playing Bayonetta 3, man. It's mostly, I have something to play at work during my break, during my lunch, right? But it's good. It's nice. It's nice to have a kind of like that kind of game. It plays really well, as far as the action is concerned and everything like that. And you summon a train. You have summons for like big, like sort of monsters, right? But at some point they're like, you know what? Let's give you a train to summon and to run around a track, like to make your own track out there and destroy these bosses with. Bayonetta 3, God of War Ragnarok. Anything else? Have you played anything else, by the way, or has it been mainly Ragnarok?
I mean, other than that, I've been playing some normal stuff like GTA and Rocket League. And I gotta say, during this last week, at some point, GTA went down, and I was actually upset.
You're like,
that is weird for me.
Destiny
I was like,
upset.
In the middle
Destiny
of
upset. Was it Destiny?
No, it wasn't Destiny upset. It was I was trying to do the heist. I could do the heist solo, or at least one of them, the Cayo Perico heist. Yeah. And I went to go do it, every time I got to the same point where I'm supposed to cut open the grate,
Yeah.
it would crash. And it crashed like 10 times in a row.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, this is so upsetting. This is $1 million that I need to be getting right now. And then I went to go play Rocket League. That game would not load the main menu, and then it crashed, apparently because of the update that was happening for the new season. But for like 2 days straight, I was not able to play these 2 games that I used to just go to sleep with. Really.
Well, what I was referring to is Destiny on the occasion that it was down, right? Like, we're like, we can't do this raid. We can't do this.
Yeah,
raid,
we're
we setting up. It's hard enough. It's hard enough to get together to kind of get these raids going, and it's like when we do it, it's down. I did want to ask you, Dalen. There's new content that dropped for GTA Online. Have you tinkered with that? Have you messed with it, or?
There's the new story, which is the labs, the acid labs. That's what it is, acid labs. Yeah. And doing it by myself is not the easiest thing. Okay. And the new guy is very wacky. He is so wacky, and he says some very raunchy, outrageous stuff. Yeah. I think you would very much love the I don't want to say the story. What's the word?
The randomness.
The narrative that this man spews out of his mouth.
Luis was out there spoiling a little bit out there on his Twitter, I believe, but or maybe on the chat that we're in. I'm down though. I'm down to mess with like these little stories. See, the story thing is cool. The raid we did it once. I don't need to keep repeating it, right? But
yeah, you don't have to keep repeating that. But let's go do the story stuff.
All right.
These little stories are very wacky.
Okay, I love it because the last time I kind of messed with it was, I think it was the contract with Dr. Dre and stuff. And I was like, this is. I hate that they put all the production values and all like their effort into an online-ish portion instead of, dude, just give me these missions in the campaign. I would have paid for them. Well, yeah, I would have paid for them, $10, $15, because it wasn't that much, right? But they put a lot of effort into the online, and it's no wonder that people are like addicted to it. But of course, hashtag stop logging into GTA 5. They already said 6 is out there. We saw it. It got leaked and all that. So just stop logging in.
Wait, are we going to go play GTA 5 right after this, though?
I don't know. Potentially RL Tourney and then GTA, right? But
RL Tourney.
We need to get this podcast up, right? That's Salient Points number 94. We did beautiful time, Dalen. Just us two.
Penelope!
Penelope.com. I'm Carlos Macias,
Penelope!
the master of the Hippocratic Oath, I believe Dalen said earlier.
Yes.
Dalen Kirkwood from Up in the Mountains. Thank you for joining me, sir. You know, you're hit rate. I all the times I talk crap to you, I feel like I'll do it. I'll do it 6% less. All right, 6%. I feel like that's a good percentage. All right, Dalen.
That's all I ask.
That is all I can ask. It's 6% less talking crap. All right, we'll see you guys next week, or I'm trying to figure out how we do the Game Awards. Maybe we do, or our Game Awards. We got Com's Game of the Year. So
right after Christmas. I'm going to say next week, have a Merry Christmas. The week after that, we'll do a New Year's episode where we're talking about
we'll work it out. We'll figure it out. We'll definitely figure it out. Yeah, let's kind of see you guys next week, or yeah. See you guys next week or at some point. And
don't hurt yourself thinking about this. We'll see you soon.
We'll see. Yeah.
Signing off.
We'll see you soon. Latest.